And welcome to week 28 of Walk the Plank, the podcast. We'll take a deep dive into the week that was Perry Athletics. We'll preview the upcoming week of spring break and talk a little bit of softball here to get going. We've got Coach Carino here, our head softball coach, and I'm joined as always by my co-host Gene Winters. Thanks for being here, Gene.
Yeah, it sure doesn't feel like it, but it is spring, I guess.
We are shooting this on Friday morning. It is currently 34 degrees outside and tons of rain, thunder, and lightning yesterday. We'll talk about that with Coach Carino a little bit here. But, the weather's not – we've gotten 2 games in, but would have liked to get a little bit more of last night's game in with the softball team. But we are 2-0. So that's what we're here to talk with Coach Carino. Thanks for being here, Coach. Appreciate it. This is, a crazy time of year. You guys start softball practices mid-February. We're at the end of March, and most of it obviously is mid-February. You're going inside.
Yes.
So you're in the field house. You're at Manchester West. You're pretty much any space that we can get our hands on, right? And so with all of that, and then you transition to the outside. How does that all happen, and how does it all sort of work? The transition time. How hard is it, I guess, to go from inside to outside?
Yeah, for sure. Once you're outside and you're able to do a full field fly balls, outfield, and hit on or field ground balls on the dirt, it's really hard to go back inside and do it all inside. So a lot of times once you're outside and then come back in, we work strategy inside, different plays we have, and then hitting, for sure, we can always hit inside. So it's not a waste of time to be inside to hit. And then obviously our pitchers can still pitch and our catchers can still catch and do some individual work. So it's not a total waste. It's just not it's not as fun inside as it is outside. But I think we can still get quality work done inside.
So what would you say over the last month and a half, and what have you learned about this team? Young team. We graduated a lot of seniors. An Elite 8 run last year in the postseason, all the way to the regional final game, farthest in school history. Again, but sort of graduated a lot. So far, what have you learned from the young Lady Pirates?
I learned that these kids are still pretty good, and they still are going to compete this year at a high level. I think the returners were a little bit concerned, especially the returners, and we're losing all our team. But it was early, and I think I kept saying it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. And they're like, no. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be all right. And then and I think we saw that in a few of the scrimmages, and we competed well with Menor for most of the game, and Wycliffe, we beat a really good pitcher. Geneva, we came out and beat them the other day. They're a really good team, full of travel ball players, and we dominated that game. So I think after that Menor game, that Menor scrimmage, and we hung on there for most of the game. A few errors here and there that kind of hurt us, but little things that we can fix. And I think they started believing, and I think we're going to be okay this year.
And how have your 3 juniors stepped up? I mean, you talked about it. You graduated a bunch, a lot of production from last year. You had 3 juniors that have played since their freshman year. How have they stepped up and kind of taken over that leadership role?
Yes. I'll speak of Morgan first. Morgan Winters is a junior pitcher. She's been a leader by example since her freshman year. She just works hard. She's always working. I come in the morning and she's pitching with you, her dad, and things like that in the off season. She's always pitching. I go after a game that she didn't pitch in, she'd be pitching out in the bullpen after games just to keep work and keep sharp. So she's always led by example, and she's always been super nice to the players on the team, and is always led by example. So she's going to step in and fill that role again. She's not quite the vocal leader, but none of them really are. None of the juniors really are, but they do lead by example. Emma Brainerd, she's stepped up this year big time, learning to a new role as catcher, and I know you're going to talk to her shortly, but that's huge for us because we have 2 solid pitchers, but if we didn't have a catcher and the ball was going back to the backstop every pitch, our two pitchers were going to be no good to us. So Emma has really done a nice job there, and she's another nice person on the team. As far as I can tell, I don't see that any of the juniors have been mean or anything to the younger classmen, and that's huge because when our older kids can be nice and make friendships with the younger kids. I know a lot of times I hear, well, the seniors were so intimidating when I was a freshman, but from what I can tell, I think they've been nice and they've been making good relationships with the young kids. So that's good. And then Ari brings a relentless determination in terms of her effort and what she wants the kids to do. So she brings the leadership in terms of, hey, let's go run, make them run. We got to run. We got to get in shape. We got to be in the weight room lifting. Her mentality of 100%. Let's run. We're walking. Let's get to the next place fast. Come on, let's go. So she's doing more of that kind of vocal leadership this year. So far the three have been leading differently, but they're picking up. I mean, it's a work in progress for juniors to be leaders, but so far so good.
All right, and we are 2-0, so we have wins over Kirtland and over Geneva. Geneva, after it's just a scrimmage, but we lost to them in a scrimmage. Come back strong and beat them 12-3. That was a huge win, and then we get rained out yesterday. We tried to get PV moving along a little bit to play as much as we could. We knew it was coming, and we'll get that thing rescheduled. So we're 2-0. We've got 4 games on the schedule for next week. We'll see. We're not going south this year, so we're going to play up here. We're going to see what happens, and hopefully get at least a couple of those games in next week and keep the momentum going. Graduation again took away arguably second base shortstop best combo in Perry history. Arguably, they're definitely up there at the top. How do we go about replacing that? That middle infield strength.
Well, I don't know that we can replace that, but what we can do is just we have inexperienced players playing there this year. Sophie Savant's picking up the shortstop role when she's not pitching, but her main role is going to be pitcher. So we have a freshman at shortstop, and she's inexperienced. She's a freshman, but so far so good. She's been doing a nice job for us. And then Sadie Snell and Ella will be at second base sometimes when she's not at shortstop. And then Sadie, again, is a new player to our program. So they're inexperienced in our program. And the most we can do, the best we can do is just keep working hard and getting better. I don't know that we'll ever get to the level this year that Madeline and Elise had with all their experience and they were seniors. But we're going to try our best to be as good as we can there.
Did you have more sleepless nights thinking about your lineup or about defense? I mean, you had to replace 6 girls. I mean, pretty much that were staples the last couple of seasons.
They're both very important, obviously, offense and defense. I like defense, so defense. I personally like defense, so that's what keeps me up at night. Like, where are we going to play this person? I feel like if we can, have limited errors and don't let the other team score, we always can. We have enough top hitters that we could score at least 1 run to win 1-0 games. So that's where my thought process is. And then with the bottom part of our lineup that is less experienced, we have to get on base any way we can, whether that is bunting for a base hit, whether that's walking, having a good eye at the plate, getting hit by a pitch, whatever it takes to get on base, and then sacrificing and scoring runs from the bottom up. And then if we can get some production, we did in the Geneva game, we had our bottom 3 produce some runs, and that was key because that wasn't happening earlier in the scrimmages, and it happened in that game, so that was good.
And do you see your lineup more as top-heavy, more balanced? As you mentioned, you got real good sacrifices in the Geneva game from the bottom of your lineup that turned it over to the top. Do you see more of a balanced lineup than you were expecting, or you're kind of top-heavy?
I would say we're pretty top-heavy, but we're going to do what we can to get the bottom of the order has potential for sure. Yes. They're very athletic people down there, but they just don't have the experience yet. So eventually they're going to be able to hit the ball. They just need more experience.
And so, what are some of the team goals for this year? CVC will be in play again. I'm sure that's one of the goals. We'll start CVC play here after spring break, right? So, what are some of the other? What for this team to have success in your mind as the head coach? What needs to happen?
In my mind, we need to get better every game, and we need to just be in every game and play one game at a time and learn from mistakes and become better. I know that we talked about this in a practice, and we had a player that thought we should be in districts and make it to districts, and we had another player that said this year's goal is just to get better for next year. That's what they want to do. So, and they want to win the CVC for sure. So, and I think all of those are really goals that are doable and something that we can do this year.
Awesome.
And to obviously accomplish that, you touched on it earlier with pitching. We didn't really talk about Sophie at all, but what have you seen from her? I mean, obviously she had a phenomenal freshman year. Is there any worry of a sophomore slump, or is she, I mean, already pitched a great game against Geneva, so I'm sure there's not that worry there, but, and it's hit the ball a ton so far in the first 2 games.
Yeah, she came out strong in that Geneva game for sure. She hit her first home run of high school, and so she did it at the mound, on the mound, and she did it at the plate. So far, I'm not worried about a sophomore slump. I don't anticipate that happening. It was the first game of the year. She got a little bit tired in that 7th inning, but other than that, everything looked pretty good. So we expect good things from Sophie, and we expect good things from Morgan, our other pitcher. So, yes.
Okay. Awesome, Coach. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it very much.
All
and
right.
Get you back to your class here, and best of luck over spring break and the rest of the season. We'll have you on again and give an update maybe mid to late season, see what's going on.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Coach Carino.
Yeah, as you mentioned, 2-0 already, 4 games next week. So weather permitting, it's going to be another busy schedule. While even though they're on spring break, there's still a lot of games to knock out next week.
Yeah, and hopefully the weather cooperates. I haven't seen a great long-term forecast for next week, but we'll keep our fingers crossed. Things can change. But let's keep the softball train rolling here. We'll bring up Emma Brainerd. Come on up, Emma. She is our athlete of the week. For us, we don't have a lot of sports going on right now. We've got softball, we've got baseball. It was supposed to start today. They can't with the weather, so they're postponed. So, but Emma, Coach Carino wanted to nominate you, so let me get you your food first. All right. I don't know if you're a Canes fan, but you get a Canes combo, box combo, and a meal deal from DQ and a Blizzard. So enjoy those. We appreciate Canes and Dairy Queen here in Perry supporting our Athlete of the Week program. So, Emma, welcome. It's your 3rd season on varsity, but it's certainly your first behind the plate. So you've played other positions. You've played the outfield. You've played the infield. Like, you've been all over the place, sort of doing it all, and now you're going to continue that role here and do it all again, but now you're behind the plate. How is that going for you so far?
I really enjoy it, actually, and I like being in, every pitch and every moment. It's definitely different than any other position that I've played, but I like working back there, and I like learning all the new stuff and helping my pitchers out.
And how did this process happen? Did you go to Carino? Did she come to you? Was it just maybe a thought that floated out there and you just ran with it?
We never really talked about it, she just kind of put me out there to catch bullpen sometimes last year, and then I guess I have a good arm, and I'm kind of scared of the ball, but once I put the gear on, I was fine, and I'm not scared of it, so it just kind of worked out
I
that.
saw you yesterday in the gear. You look pretty you're pretty bulky back there, not in a bad way. You're pretty, you got a presence back there for sure. I think you handle it very well. That transition has been incredible. I know in talking to Coach Carino after last year, we sit down as the AD and coaches, and we talk about next year's, program. What can we do better? What do we need? And she's like, I need a catcher. Do you have any of those? I said, no, I can get you catcher's equipment, but she's like, I'm like, you got to make a catcher. You got to come up with a plan. And certainly, somehow along the way, it all happened. And Emma Brainerd is behind the plate. And from what I've seen so far, Emma, you've been lights out, and that's a great thing. And again, you've been in the varsity level since your freshman year. How do you think you've grown overall as a softball player? Take the catching out of it, but just from, at the plate and being a varsity softball player, how's your game grown from freshman to junior year?
I think I'm way more comfortable, and like going up to the plate, it's usually not like my strongest suit. Like hitting has never been my strongest thing, but like this year I just want, like, I'm working on being more relaxed and like hitting the ball like it's for fun. Like I shouldn't be all worried and stuff. Like I'm just way more calm, and like I know my team has my back.
Okay, awesome.
Does catching help hitting at all? I mean, obviously you know the strike zone. You're a pitcher as well, so you know the strike zone. But being back there, does it give you a different view of maybe what to expect in the box after working with an umpire so closely?
I feel like, yeah, because I know their zone and like I know what they're calling. Like for example, yesterday they were calling outside pitches, so I knew like that he was probably gonna call that, and I like know like that I'm framing the ball and stuff. So like I know that obviously their catcher's gonna do the same and work as good as they can to make them strikes.
So Emma, take us back to when you were little. When did you start playing softball? When was your first year of? You remember when you started?
Yeah,
Okay.
I started playing in like I think I was in 3rd grade, and I was
Okay.
playing for Jags like out in Jefferson.
Okay. So have you ever caught before in any of those youth all the way up? You've not
No.
done any of it. Well, that's pretty incredible. I love it. I love it.
Do you? I mean, obviously it's only 2 games so far, but do you
Yeah.
miss being in the field? I mean, obviously you've taken outfield reps. You've played there over the last 2 years. You played in at third. You've pitched. Like, do you miss any of those, or is it just this new role is exciting and fresh and run with it?
I think I like it. Like I'm a lot happier, and like I come home and like my dad's like, "You're so much happier," and
Yeah.
like I just like it a lot better, I think.
And as you're preparing to be the catcher this year, how do you get ready for that? I mean, are you watching film of other catchers? Are you trying to catch more bullpens? Are you how do you get yourself ready in an off season to be the lead catcher?
I mean, I've watched some videos, but like I started catching for Morgan at some lessons, and Sophie, I've been catching for her every Sunday now, and I'm just like working with Infalvi a lot. He helps me a lot to get better.
Because as I said, the one thing that both of them have mentioned is your framing, and that's obviously something that's not easy because normally you just catch the ball wherever it goes, but you're trying to catch and manipulate it a little bit. How has that process worked?
Well, for framing, I've worked a lot with Infalvi on that, and like I just know how it feels to be a pitcher and like have an off game and like just want to do the best you can, and like sometimes they're off, and like I want to do as much as I can to help that.
And so, do you think being a pitcher, that's again, you've pretty much played all over the field, including pitching. Has that helped you transition to the catching side a little bit?
Yeah, because it's just like a similar feeling. Like when I see them and like I know they're like in their head or something, like I just know I need to like say something to help them calm down, or yeah.
And we obviously talked with Coach about it, but the three of you, Morgan, yourself, and Ari, how have you guys, kind of taken this new team under your guys' wings, try to get them to the spot where you guys want to be? Obviously, the goal is to get back to where you were last year, win CVC, all of these things. So how do you help the younger kids get to that point?
I think we're all doing a really good job at like working together, and like I know Ari, she's like working really hard to like push them and like just like tell them how it should be done, and like I guess like show them. And Morgan's a really good teammate, like a really good friend, and she's nice to everyone, and like we just like want to encourage them and like tell them like even if you mess up, like it's okay, like you're just now learning this and it's your first time with us, like.
And for you, obviously, the team set goals. Karina ran through a couple. What
Yeah.
personal goals did you have going into this year?
I really just want to like learn how to work together and like figure out all these new positions together and get better. Like I feel like we have a lot of work to do, but we're really good. Like coming back from that scrimmage against Geneva to the game versus Geneva,
Yeah.
like that was a big step up, and we all worked hard to get to that. So I think if we just keep working like that, we have like chances of like winning CVC and stuff.
Yeah, it's great. I think sometimes that's what, you never know coming in we had it really in girls basketball this year, where we had a lot of inexperienced players at the beginning of the year. I always thought, like, who's going to score the points this year for us in basketball? And then similar to softball, we have some inexperienced players. All right, who's going to get the hits? How are we going to score? How are we going to, who's going to be our catcher? All of these questions, and I think they do play out, and it just proves that I think we've got a great feeder system. I think, Emma and a lot of girls, Morgan, have played, for many years, not only once they got to high school, but the travel side and all of that kind of thing. So it's just a testament to these kids. They're coming in and they're ready to go, and they may not have the experience, all of them, but they're gonna learn, and we'll be okay, I think. So, all right, Emma, before we get you out of here, just some get to know you questions here. All right, what is your favorite food?
Steak.
Steak. All right. So like a homemade steak, or you have a restaurant you like to go to?
I like to go to Warren Spirit Kitchen.
Oh, okay. Where's that at?
It's in Burton.
Burton. All right. I'd heard of it. I'll have to check that out. See, I learned something new.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one, but
that's good.
I was expecting a Jersey Mike's, but
what's your favorite subject in school, Emma?
Math.
Math. Okay. Favorite movie or television series, show?
The Rookie.
The Rookie. All right. Any hobbies outside of your time on the softball diamond?
No.
No, just softball?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's a good thing.
yeah.
Coach Carino approves.
Right.
Favorite app or game on your phone?
TikTok.
Okay. Pretty standard.
Yep.
You have
No,
TikTok? You
no,
still
no.
I should.
Still
All right.
holding out. 28
Okay.
weeks strong.
28 weeks strong. No is the answer for Mr. Winters. Favorite memory from any time throughout your experiences in Perry? So we used to ask for the favorite athletic, but it could be a Washington, D.C. trip. It can be whatever you've experienced during your time here at Perry. You're only a junior, so you got plenty of time left before you graduate. But right now, what are some of your top memories from here?
Going to Cocoa Beach, I think, with the softball team was definitely my favorite memory.
Okay.
Or Tennessee.
Right. Yeah, both of the trips. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys love those. Visit any place in the world. Money's not an object. Where would you go?
Hawaii.
Hawaii. Good answer. Good answer. All right. Emma Brainerd is our Athlete of the Week. Thanks for being here, Emma. Appreciate it. Don't forget your certificates. We'll update everybody here as we continue down the season. But best of luck and great job so far. Keep it up.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Emma, for being here. So far, that's our one spring team in action. We've got softball at 2-0. Baseball is the varsity team is heading down south, so we've got some games down south next week, 4 games down in the Savannah, Georgia area. Our JV teams will be up here trying to get games in with softball, and track has some team members heading to Myrtle Beach, so the beach run will be Easter weekend on Friday and Saturday. And then we've got and track's competing tomorrow at Strongsville. So we've got quite a day here, or quite a week coming up of spring break, and we're really sort of on the precipice of the start of true spring sports. So when we get back, spring break's a little bit later this year. It's a week later because of the Easter holiday, and it really does almost compact the season even further, if that's possible, because it's usually like April 1 to May 15, and it's a sprint because every day, weather permitting, you're playing. And I don't care what the sport is. Tennis, too. Our boys' tennis team has been working hard. They're ready to go. Their first match isn't until April 7th after break. So it's just one of those things. And we got flag football is underway. Obviously, we had Mindy on last week, and they had a pretty good experience here. We hosted opening night. That was a fun night under the lights here at Alumni Stadium. So. And those girls are getting after. They're 2-1 on the year, and they played again at Mentor on Sunday, so they're sort of in a Friday-Sunday schedule on the girls' flag side.
Yeah, and that's the interesting part of that, as you mentioned. She was really big on that big event coming here last weekend, and having JV and varsity players getting into the action, and obviously coming away victorious also helps as well. On the baseball side, real quick,
Yeah.
how many is there? A freshman team, JV, varsity? How many baseball
Yeah, we have
teams are
two
there?
JV teams. Technically, it's a JVA and a JVB.
Okay.
So we do have 30 plus kids in the program. So we're able to have 3 teams. That's been a staple. Coach Blatt's always done a great job with that. We'll have him on in the coming weeks to sort of give an update or a preview, because they'll be still fairly early on in their season when we have them on. But yeah, 3 teams: JVA, JVB, varsity. And again, we're just going to try to play as many of these games as we can next week.
And when Coach Platt comes to you with, "Hey, I want to go to," well, this year Georgia,
Yeah,
last
Georgia,
year was
yeah.
Zona, the year before
Yeah.
maybe Florida. Like when he comes to you, how long does it take you to decide on if this is a good idea, a bad idea, maybe somewhere closer, maybe?
Yeah.
How does that all factor in?
Yeah, he's always wanting to go, and that's a good thing. I don't say that in a bad way at all, because it's time away from his family and from his all of it, and all the coaches who go. I mean, they're taking time away, and so are the players, and so are our families who are going out. So it's a team effort to make a trip like this happen. So he typically does want to go. And, we're looking at places like, all right, have we had a good experience? Arizona's been great. We've been to Florida. In the past we were in Myrtle. I mean, we've been all over the place. So trying to gauge, all right, do we want to stay in the same spot? Now, Arizona can be costly because you have to fly out there. Georgia this year, everybody's sort of driving. The parents are driving their own kids down, and and they're sort of carpooling in a way. So it's a little bit different type of trip this year, but it's drivable and therefore a little bit less expensive, because we really don't ever want it to be a burden on a family, and we know that it can be, and we don't want it to feel that way. And so Arizona is really not feasible every year.
Right.
So we take that in consideration, the travel piece, how far are we going? And then just trying to find, this year he reached out and was able to find 4 local teams down in the Hilton Head, Savannah area that were willing to play us. And so we're not in a tournament, or we're not in, the Ripken experience
Right.
isn't running it. So that helps with costs too. Like there's really no entry fee into any tournaments or things like that. So we took all of those things into consideration, and not having been down to the Hilton Head, Savannah area, we wanted to give it a shot.
And obviously for the track team going down to the Carolinas as well. I remember last year when you guys came back and the team came back, just how big of an event that was down there for the athletes that went down there. And, we had a bunch of them on afterwards and talking about what a great experience that was. And so was that an easy decision to head back there again, too?
Yeah, so we've always gone to Myrtle. Coach Richards has a really good relationship with their head track coach down there. So during the week, Myrtle Beach High School allows us to practice there. We usually practice from like 9 to 11 in the morning. They're in school typically. I think their spring break is usually the week before, but we're always down there practicing. And so that's a huge thing, to have access to be able to practice all week. And then last year, if our spring break lines up, and this year it does, we stay right in Myrtle for the beach run, right at the same track that we practice at all week. And so that's this year, that's how it's worked out, because that's usually the first Friday and Saturday in April. So we're good. Last year we had to go south to Charleston, and believe me, the beach run is huge too. It's got a large number of schools, but the one in the Charleston area last year was mind-boggling how many teams were there from how many different states. We had several teams from Ohio, and then the surrounding the Carolinas, you've had Georgia, Tennessee, Virginia, etc. So it was a massive meet. The beach run won't be as big this year, but still a very prestigious, more local Myrtle Beach area high schools will be there, but it's still very, very competitive.
Yeah, and that's the part. At least you get down there, you get active, get going, and kind of kick off the season for when you come back for that sprint to the end and districts and state championships on the track side. You mentioned tennis; they're getting underway. The other part that I wanted to mention before we were finished was the raffle, the booster raffle coming up.
Thank you for that. The booster raffle is Saturday, April 11th. We still have tickets available for the event. We're trying to sell 200 tickets. We're over 100 right now. We're still obviously 2 weeks away from that event, but it's sort of tough this year because we will be if people go on break. We'd love them to buy their tickets before they leave, because by the time they get back, we're going to have to have a good count of things. So we're sending out an Infinite Campus Blast today. You'll see that email, K through 12. We're going to ask Mr. Kellogg to help us put it back out on Facebook. I know we did that at the very beginning when we announced all of the information. We're going to blast that back out there on social media today and try to push this thing. So yeah, it's a great event. It's fun. Number one, yeah. It's a good night away. It's close by. It's right at the Perry Community Center. It's $65 a person. So it's not going to break your wallet. And you can come. We'll have baskets that you can win. Each team will have a basket that you can buy raffle tickets for and win that way. We'll have sideboards. We'll have the main door prize of $2,000. Your wine and beer is included. Your food is included, all for that $65. So, and it's a fun night, and it raises money for our kids, and that's ultimately the biggest thing that comes out of that. And we're looking at doing some projects right now in the summer for our weight room, where the boosters will be very involved in that, and on a yearly basis, hopefully moving forward. We had the privilege of going out to Avon High School about 3 weeks ago. Mindy Allen, Ashley Guesswich, and Mike Christinger went out. We met with their strength coach, their athletic director, assistant AD, and head football coach, and just they're really rocking it right now. They've back-to-back state champs in football, boys soccer state champs, girls soccer I think was in the Final Four, volleyball state champs. Their basketball team was in the regional semis for both boys and girls. So and obviously they're a bigger school, but we want to pick their brain. We want to know, all right, how are you doing this, and how are you running a successful program? And while I think we have successful programs here, again, we're always looking to get better and better ways to improve. So it was a great day out there, and one of the things that we learned, they have a new weight room as well. It's newer than ours, but they have some technology in there that really helps their strength and conditioning coach be on top of their kids, and it sort of just it drives. It's sort of the engine that drives the whole program. So it's great to have all the equipment, but if the kids aren't using it the right way or whatever, this system that we're going to be looking at really helps us do that, and the boosters will be integral. So, and the nice thing there, and the boosters love it when it touches all kids, all sports, not just football, basketball, baseball, softball. It's all. We have 22 sports here now, and any athlete that takes the strength and conditioning class or works out in that weight room will be benefited by this new technology that we're going to attempt to put in. So that's all sports will be benefited when you come to this event on April 11th.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the strength class. I know obviously my girls have gone through it this year, but now they're at that point of, I wish we would have done this 2 years ago.
Yeah,
it's that spot. So parents watching, if you have freshmen or eighth graders that are coming in, it's definitely a class worth taking the next 4 years, and as you continue to make those improvements, and not just for the athlete themselves, but the team and the school overall. Yeah,
we certainly encourage. I think we have one of the best weight rooms in the Northeast Ohio area. Avon's is newer, but they're also 3 times as big as us, so they have more. Right. But ours is really good. We're going to improve it this way. And the other way that I think I see improvement in that area will be in the middle school and getting them to come down a couple of days a week. And that's in the works right now. Coach Frazier's retiring after 34 or 5 years teaching and coaching, and we certainly wish him the best. And, he's brought kids up to the weight room to sort of introduce them to it. We're going to look to expand that as well to where they're coming up to, again, with this new technology that we have, really to get after it and to learn the technique and everything involved. So when they are a freshman, now you hit the ground running, and you're going to see gains and improvement, as a freshman, as opposed to, like you said, with your girls now as juniors. So we certainly encourage any athlete to take the course, to take the class with Coach Christinger. He is one of the best in the nation. Won the award one year as the Strength Coach of the Year for the entire United States. So we're fortunate to have him, and we're always looking to get better.
Yeah, and that's part. So be on the lookout for the final forms for the booster event coming up in April. So I mean, a lot going on, maybe in different states, but there's a lot going on next week over spring break for the kids.
All right, so we will be off. So week 29 will not be until the week of April 6th. We start school back on Tuesday the 7th. So my guess is we're probably a few weeks away. It'll probably be later that week that we get week 29 of Walk the Plank into production, and we'll probably have Coach Platt on will be my plan for that. But we wish all of our teams and all of our families and kids a safe and restful spring break, and we'll see you on the other side. Until then, go Pirates.